Welcome to the package quad planning. This week, we intend to go over the plan for milestone 14.2. So if there are no objections, I could just get started sharing my screen. And desktop 2. Cool. So yeah, this milestone I put together, it's mainly focused on, I would say, performance improvements, customer bugs, and a lot of dependency proxy issues. So I'll just walk through the P1 deliverable issues first, and then just please jump in and stop me if I'm talking too fast or you have any questions. So the first issue, this NuGet package is larger than 500 megabytes fail to be uploaded. This was an investigation that we did and David did in 14.1. And it affects large packages that need to have a background process run on them, specifically for NuGet, but this could impact other packages. So we'd like to resolve this. And this affects customers as well. And then the next one is performance improvement or scalability improvement for the cleanup policies. It resolves a bug where we're not passing the information in the logs. And then the next one is deploy token support for the dependency proxy. This is a carryover from 14.1, popular customer issue, which is related to the one below it, where dependency proxy is not working with single sign-on. Steve, you mentioned that this one might be resolved by the previous one, but we're not sure yet. So I just wanted to make sure we called both out because item 4 here is a popular customer issue, has a lot of upvotes and customer interest. The next one's been open for a while. This is one of our P2 bugs that's kind of been pushed back a lot, but this is a bad request error when publishing NPM packages, and this has a lot of customer interest as well, so it'd be great to resolve this. And then part of the theme of investigating or testing object storage integration. So investigate multi-part uploads with various object storage configurations. Let me know what you think about this one. I thought that this would go well with number 1 since we would have to test some of the configurations as part of that for NuGet. So I thought maybe that would be a good opportunity to combine those two issues. Nico's not here. This is a front-end issue, follow-up from an incident where folks are deleting an image repository and then not realizing that they deleted the whole image and not just a given tag. So adding in some extra safeguards there where you'll have to enter in the project name. Just like when you delete your project, you have to enter in the project for it to be deleted. This one is for Python. So we've been seeing a lot of interest in our Python repository recently, and this is following a similar feature that we have for NPM, where if you try to install a Python package and it's not found, that will forward the request to the public Python repository. This is important because the PyPI project is making a change with it, removing support for the extra index URL, which means that you won't be able to say to link to multiple repositories in your setup file. So this has been requested by a lot of customers recently. So hopefully we can get this done. On the performance front, we're continuing the GraphQL work that Nico's been working on. And so this will be converting the package list page to use the new endpoints. And then we have an investigation issue for the P95 scores for NPM are a bit slow. And so we've been meaning to investigate those to see if there's any improvements that could be made. And then this one came up during an investigation into deploy tokens. And it turns out that when you can manage permissions for the repository, and we check for those when you're actually using a deploy token for the package registry, so that breaks deploy tokens. So removing that check. And then we have a bunch of testing issues. So adding some QA tests for the dependency proxy, at least we might split this up, or we might just like make this the smallest iteration forward. And then, yeah, following up on some of our incidents and some of the bugs that we found, testing package uploads using S3 and Miniome. And that's part of our broader epic to start to test that. So before going into the stretch goals, like I could pause, and does anyone have any questions or comments? Concerns? Does it seem like a lot? Too much?
Number 6 would be better combined with 13 and 14 because I guess the different object storage configurations. Oh, it's the investigation. Sorry, never mind. Yeah, it's the investigation about if they are working properly with all the different configurations.
Do you think we should choose either number 6 or 13 and 14?
No, I thought that 6 was implementing tests that would go through different object storage configurations, but it's the investigation. Okay. So never mind, it's just me that I don't know how to read.
I think we would have, by just integrating with AWS S3, for example, for our QA tests, it would bring up already some, it would feed into the investigation. That's what I mean. So if there are any results with those tests, we could plug it in this issue as well, in the multi-part uploads.
Okay. Anything missing that you thought, oh, I really thought we were going to prioritize this milestone, or?
Yeah, I made a comment about the unlinking of temporary files from the dependency proxy. That's kind of like the in-between step before we migrate to Workhorse, which a little bit of work has been done on, but since it's not totally prioritized, I've been putting it off. But I thought that might be worth considering.
Okay. Because I think I could see if I could swap something. I think I was thinking for the dependency proxy that having the deploy token and the SSO issue might have been enough for this milestone.
Yeah, well, and hopefully the deploy token won't bleed too far into this milestone, since it's come pretty far along in 14.1. But we'll see.
Okay, I could add that one to the list as well. That'd be great.
It was more of whether or not it's high enough priority, given that it could prevent escalations in the future.
I'm definitely interested in preventing escalations, and we want to get to that workhorse issue too. So I think that would be good to prioritize. I wonder if I need to remove anything, because the milestone is feeling pretty heavy then if we have all of those issues.
I mean, we could probably go through and weight some before we decide and see what the weight looks like. I am thinking about now, I'm trying to think, if we were to move to Workhorse, would we still have to worry about the temp file issue? And I think the answer is no. So depending, I mean, if we wanted to prioritize the Workhorse stuff and, reasonably soon, we could probably just skip the unlinking issue. But if it's going to be a few milestones, it might be worthwhile.
I would argue that the unlinking work is way smaller than the workhorse stuff, because the workhorse stuff is applying the upload interaction and the whole ping pong thing with authorize on a GET request. I'm not sure if this has already been done on Workhorse. And on top of that, we need to add a custom logic where we are going to receive an URL and credentials from Rails, and Workhorse will need to contact that URL to upload the content of that URL to object storage. That's completely new to my knowledge. So it's really not the same weight, I would say.
Yeah, definitely a different weight. I think the unlinking was like the workaround to prevent any incidents or escalations while we find time to work on Workhorse. But the unlinking actually because initially it looked like a very small change, but it got complicated quickly. So it might be worth not spending too much time on that since it did get complicated quickly.
Okay. Yeah, there are like something like 900,000 images that are being pulled per week. So each
Okay.
time one of those is pulled, there's temporary files that are linked that basically will fill up the system.
Well, not necessarily. They only fill up the system if something goes wrong.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to pull that in, and we could wait it, and if we need to rebalance or move something out, I would like to get that in, and if it is a
Yeah, and we can discuss. I feel like David's kind of talking me out of it now.
he's so good at that. Okay. Any other questions on the P1s? Anything here that you're like, oh, I don't want to work on that, or something missing, or? Cool. Okay, well, we could go over the stretch goals. This first one is definitely near and dear to my heart. Adding in or extracting the NPM package metadata. I've been getting inundated with those requests lately. It didn't seem as important when we're considering the performance issues or some of the other things for the package registry, but it'd be great if we can get to that if possible. Nico's been working on the packages GraphQL. We split that issue into an epic, and I pulled 2 issues forward, one for delete files and one for Terraform. There are 2 more that are scheduled for the next milestone as well, so this work isn't done yet. This is a issue opened by a customer, and by Ben Prescott shared this with us, but there's an issue with Python compatibility tags. So that's a customer bug. This one, the generic packages events are not captured with usage ping. This got delayed from 14.1. This is important because right now we're understating our stage our group, our Gmail, which is basically our monthly active users for the stage. It would be awesome to have that, but yeah, definitely performance and scaling comes first. This one's we've been punting on forever. It's a popular proposal and people are passionate in the issue, but supporting publishing composer packages to one central project. Right now, we only support the group. But a lot of what we do is we tell our customers that they should use one central project for their packages. And so this is a popular request that we hear a lot about. We have a feature flag for the container registry that has been open for some time now, I hear, and it'd be good to just remove that and ensure that it's safe to remove. It seems like it is, but yeah, it may require some extra work and investigation. And then refactor package manager test use different auth tokens. I think Sophia, you must have added this one, right? This would be great. So right now we only test with the job token.
Yeah, we actually have different approaches from different tests, but David did a really good work with Gradle and started introducing a matrix combination of different auth tokens that we use. So from job token to personal access token and so on. I think it's just if there is some time to extend that to the rest of the package managers.
Cool. And then, yeah, I was very excited to say in our noteworthy community contributions to remove Helm. So it's very exciting. Great job, Steve and David. And we do still have Debian, which is going on. And I mentioned that we do expect it to wrap up in 14.2, possibly 14.3. So there might be, I just want to make sure we account for that work and that we're aware that it's still coming. And yeah, I added in some valid design work. Hyan is going to be helping us out with the delete experience for the container registry UI. And then on the validation track, still working on the go-to-market use case for package, doing some solution validation for pipelines for packages as we zoom into a solution there, and then sending out a survey to our self-managed customers to understand storage usage or object storage usage. So that's just some other things that I'll be working on. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and if anyone has any questions or anything, that'd be great.
I think for that composer stretch goal, that might warrant an investigation, just because the way composer works is very different from the others, in that we don't really upload a file. It doesn't end up with an actual package file attached to it. So there's different ways we can think about how we might want to centralize it to one project.
Okay, I could update that to an investigation issue.
On the community MRs, since now Helm is done and Debian is reaching the final phase, I'd like to ping again the MR about the Nugget instance level endpoint. It has been paused so that we focused on Debian and Helm. So now that we are a bit of more time for community MRs, I'd like to go back to this one because it was almost ready and the naming convention was not, had an issue, and I suggested a solution, and that was the last update on it.
Okay, and we haven't, for that contributor, we've kind of paused a lot of his contributions. So if worst case, if they're not able to pick it back up, are we able to finish that MR for them, or?
Yeah, there is. So it's my idea to ping him on the MR to see if he wants or has time to pick it up. And if that's not the case, well, we can take the MR over and finish it and credit him for all the work, of course.
Okay.
But it was, it's not like it was done, but it's like 50–80% done, so more than a half.
Okay. Too bad we don't have any .NET developers on the team or people who know .NET. Just trolling you, Ugo. Sorry, couldn't help it. Okay. Anything else to add, or Sophia? Anything? Any comments? No. Okay. Well, cool. I think that we can stop the recording and we can add weights to the issues and finalize like the deliverable items would be good. I'm actually out on Thursday, Friday, and the kickoff video is on Monday. So if we could apply weights sooner, that would be great. And if not, I'll focus the kickoff video on like the stuff that I'm very confident that will be deliverable items and not the stuff that won't be. Okay, cool. I'm gonna pause the recording.